Why was Ken Whisenhunt fired today? Give us the in-depth scoop here.
Well, I think it's been kind of a few weeks in the making, and then the performance against the Texans in Houston, which is a personal game for the Adams family, even still, that they've been out of there since 1996. It's still kind of a rivalry there, kind of competitive. The family, most of the family, the ownership still lives in the city of Houston. So, and that performance kind of did Coach Whisenhunt in. And I think I say that just because of the digression of the offense. It just really hasn't gotten better. You know, the concepts, the protection schemes have really gone south. They are in position to win 3 or 4 games early on in the season, and they'd never got it done. And I just think this is kind of the culmination of kind of last year bleeding over to this year, and they decided to make the change.
Frank, do you think that there's a case of Campbellitis in this league going on right now, that maybe we're in a period where, because of what people saw happen in Miami, that they're going to, because we could see Chuck Pagano gone in a couple of weeks. Tom Sula's on thin ice. I mean, do you think people are saying, well, look what happened with Campbell in Miami, he kind of turned that team around? Do you think that had anything to do with what's going on in Tennessee and possibly other places?
I don't think so. I just think it might be a coincidence, Woody. I just think each situation is kind of judged on its own. There's what we're talking about, and I think what you see from protection and scheme is probably just maybe 10-20% of it. I think just the attitude, the culture. The lack of identity, the lack of accountability from Coach Whisenhunt week after week. I think that was weighing on a lot of people. Was weighing on the fans. The fans became apathetic. And, the business side of it, I think, took effect as well. Saw a lot of opposing teams' jerseys in the lower bowl of Nissan Stadium this year. That couldn't make the ownership group happy, and I just think the culture, especially on offense, after a year and a half in the system, guys still didn't know what to do. Guys still didn't know who they were, their identity, who was playing on this play, who was playing on the next play, and then going into Houston after protection issues against Miami, where they gave up about 6 sacks. They pulled their rookie right tackle. They play Atlanta, they protect him, and then they go to Houston and they don't protect Tatasi, the rookie right tackle, and J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless had just a field day. Zach Mettenberger had 14 hits on him, 7 sacks. And there was no real accountability after that. And with that devastating loss in Houston, as I said, I think that was just the tipping point.
Frank, Whisenhunt was an offensive specialist, yet the Titans were scoring about 18 points a game this year. Were he and Mariota a bad fit? Was Whisenhunt's scheme a bad fit for Mariota? Was he unwilling to change to fit Mariota's skills?
He tried to a little bit, but I think ultimately, and Coach Whisenhunt's a smart coach, but it is his offense, and it took a long time for me to figure it out, that it is a quarterback-driven offense. The onus is solely on the quarterback, and if you look back at his success, he had it with Kurt Warner, and he had it with Phillip Rivers. And you need an elite quarterback to run his offense because it's all on the quarterback, about precision. It's about catching the right coverage, checking into the right play, guys making the right adjustments, and the quarterback checking to the right play, catching the right coverage and delivering the football with impeccable accuracy. And for young quarterbacks and a young offensive line, that just wasn't cutting it. And they were seeing that Mariota, the face of the franchise, their meal ticket perhaps for the next 10, 12 years, he has the potential to be an elite quarterback, that they saw where they were going with the scheme. It wasn't fitting, and they did not want the face of the franchise to be put in New Orleans next week with that type of protection scheme where he could get beat up and turn into David Carr. He got sacked so much, David Carr lost his confidence and got the yips and never turned out to reach his full potential.
Frank, I don't mean a pun with this question, but you mentioned the Adams family earlier, and I really don't mean that as a pun, but that's the truth of the matter. Who really is running that team out of the family after the death of Bud? And I think I asked you this question before. I am certain, based on everything I know and have heard, that Peyton's going to make this his last season. Do you think it's automatic that Peyton either becomes the governor of Tennessee or the head of the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah. You know what? Steve Underwood, who's the interim president in Nashville, kind of the link between the ownership group, in which Amy Adams Strunk is the controlling owner of the family right now. Tommy Smith was. They booted him after a year. Whisenhunt was Tommy Smith's hire. That was Bud's son-in-law. And Amy Adams Strunk is Bud's daughter, and she owns a third of the team, and she is kind of the acting owner right now. She's making all the decisions. She made the decision to relieve Ken Whisenhunt of his coaching duties, and she will, according to Steve Underwood, she will make the hire of the next coach. Obviously, Woody, to your point, Steve Underwood is he's the interim president and the liaison between the Nashville and Houston, where the family Adams Strunk lives full time, and he answers to her. But they are searching for a new president of football operations, and I think we talked about this before. I think when Mr. Adams was alive, when they were recruiting Peyton, he had made mention that perhaps Peyton could one day have some ownership of the team and be a part of the organization. And if this is Peyton's last year, the Titans, I think, would welcome him with open arms.
Sure, plus the Republican Party would welcome him with open arms to run for governor. Yeah, the reason why I asked that is about the family is you've seen it, Frank, you've been around forever like me, that we've seen the Spagnolas in San Diego, the Rooneys, Mark Davis. We've seen now the Adams family. We're seeing it in Denver because of Pat Bolin's Alzheimer's, that all of these teams are passing down to the next generation, and really the next generation doesn't know as well as the previous generation. Would you agree with that comment, or do you think, I mean, I look around and I go, gee, the people who were in charge before they either died or had illnesses or whatever really did a good job, but yet ownership throughout the league, as you know, it's happened in Buffalo. You go around the league, they're passing down the next generation, which really doesn't know anything about football in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think it could be said that could be correct. It's all. I mean, I can just go with what they said today, that the team's not for sale. They're committed to this team. They're committed to going into the future. about with Amy Adams Trump. Now, someone comes along with an interview or an offer of some big-time money. Now, maybe that could change the dynamic. Who knows? But they are adamant that they're not going to sell the team. And with all the money, Woody, you know, coming in, and you're one of 32 in the world that gets to own an NFL team, you know, this family, they're very smart. Bud had not only the team, he had like over 50 businesses on the side that is under his name. So, you know, they're very smart in running all of Bud's, you know, his businesses, and they've been doing that for years. So they inherited this football team, and it's just it's a crazy dynamic because it's broken up into a third, and three people with an 11th percentage of the team. So that's what's kind of like people are questioning, like, where is the ownership, and you know, who's the actual leader, and who knows what they're doing. So that's the way it's broken up, and we'll see what goes on in the future. Who knows? But right now they're denying any rumors and anything about a sale.
I think Frank should be the next coach, the next permanent coach.
How about the next owner?
I would
Let
love
him be
to
the next
coach.
owner.
I said I'd do it for $15 million, and I save them $15 million.
Hey, Frank, as always, thanks, man.